Centuries after Africa fought for freedom from colonial chains, a new guest came knocking, smiling, suited, and bearing a flag with stars. In 2007, the United States introduced AFRICOM, the Africa Command. They said it was about peace, support, and partnership. But those who remembered the past wondered, why does help arrive in uniform? AFRICOM didn't build one base and stay. It spread, quietly. Drone stations in Niger, outposts in Kenya, surveillance in Burkina Faso, missions in the shadows. Most Africans never heard the full story. The bases grew, but the questions were silenced. Who signed the deals? Who owned the skies above? Some African leaders, desperate for aid and protection, signed agreements with little resistance. They welcomed the foreign boots, hoping it would bring stability. But stability never came. Instead, the weapons stayed, and the silence deepened. What was promised in public was different from what was delivered in private. In places like Somalia and the Sahel, the sky began to hum. Drones flew over homes, villages, and schools. They watched. Sometimes they struck. The enemy wasn't always clear. Civilians began to vanish. Not by disease or war, but by mistake. The cost of security was paid in innocent lives. AFRICOM was more than soldiers. It was eyes and ears. Satellites watched phone calls. Drones mapped terrain. Data flowed to distant servers. Africa was being watched, not for help, but for strategy. The land of kings and queens became a live video feed, monitored by foreign command centers. To maintain their presence, AFRICOM empowered certain governments, even corrupt ones, dictators who silenced the press, leaders who crushed protests. If they cooperated with the West, they stayed in power. And the people? They remained unheard. The guns kept them quiet and the foreign aid kept the rulers rich. But Africa's youth are not blind. They know their history. They know their worth. From Accra to Bamako, they began to rise. Why are there foreign soldiers on our land? They asked. Why do drones fly over our homes? They didn't hate peace. They just wanted it on their terms. The truth began to leak. AFRICOM wasn't just fighting terror. It was about control, geopolitical games, resources, position. Whoever held Africa held the future. And so, the continent became a chessboard again. But this time, the pieces were people. The kings and pawns were African. What is sovereignty if your skies are watched? If your leaders are bought?